This podcast is sponsored by Mad Hatter's Hideaway, 2334 Culver Road, Rochester, New York, 14609. Stop down today for all your smoke and vape accessories.
Stay lit, stay informed.
Welcome to the UrbaQuest Podcast. Introducing your UrbaQuest team, Yuli V, John Z, Logan P, and Justin C. They're bringing you what's burning in cannabis entertainment, events, vendors, cultivation, and culture. So grab your fucking bong. Damn son, who's the plug? And enjoy the show.
What's going on, Goonies? How you doing today? We have an absolute banger coming up for you. All right. We are here with the New York State Cannabis Club. Now, there has been a lot of talk. Do I need to restart? Are you telling me to do something, Logan?
No.
You fucked me all up, bro. I'm sorry.
No, I'm pointing at who you're talking about and what you're doing.
Oh, so on my screen, you're on the bottom. And so that looks weird as shit.
No. On the recording screen, see, you and me are on the top, and then
that's cool. Hey,
Club's on the bottom.
All good. I think we should just leave that and roll with it. Yeah. I think it's funny. Anyway, like I said, we got the New York State Cannabis Club with us today. It is going to be a fun show. I know you all have heard about it. I know you've seen it on Facebook. They got 1,000 people plus in their group, right? But It's almost like an enigma. It's almost like an enigma that a lot of us, like the people who are involved, probably know the structure of it and what's going on. But a lot of us are kind of like, what's this New York State Cannabis Club? So we're here today with Ra Ray, you said, right? On Facebook, Ra Ray.
Yep.
So if you want to follow him personally on Facebook, over there, check it out. That's his memes, all that. But we're here with him today to figure out what's exactly behind the New York State Cannabis Club. Now, before we dive into that, though, I would like to get to know you a little bit, if that's cool. So if you wouldn't mind, jump right in and tell us, like, what was your first experience with cannabis? How did you first get introduced to this beautiful plant?
I want to say first time I smoked weed, I was 14 years old. Was in foster care off of Buffalo Road going to Churchville Chili. We couple of buddies and stuff like that arm wrestled on a rock, and I cut my elbow on a rock. We was just so high and stuff like that. But that was my first experience smoking weed. Ever since then, I told people, I'm gonna smoke weed to the day I die.
Yeah, man. I was like a little bit later to the game. I grew up in like taking college classes in high school and shit. And we would drink heavy. But like it was during that whole dare time, right? So it would be like, oh, weed is the gateway drug. And I would say, like, I will never smoke weed. I'm never doing any other drugs. Fast forward like 3 years, I was sniffing coke and doing heroin. And stuff. But anyway,
we all had our
They're
life
really
history and things.
It really stands for dispensaries are really expensive.
Yeah, right. Dispensaries are really expensive. The DARE program, scaring you and your kids away from a plant that saves. Anyway, cool. So you were telling me a little bit before the show, but I think that would also kind of be good to bring back into the show.
Okay.
On how NYSCC kind of got its foundations, what the inspiration behind it, what inspired you to get it off the ground and running.
All right, so this is 100% honest. I've always disliked the government. All right, and I felt that if the people united in a unique way, it would help build a different type of community that we needed. I'm sort of a forward thinker and stuff like this. So a lot of the things behind the New York State Cannabis Club, the structures, what went into it and things like that, I don't know how to explain it, man. It's just what I can explain is, so somebody messaged me one day and they said your logo looks like the Illuminati. And I said that what our logo stands for, if you look at it, it's a triangle, but the triangle is faced backwards, where the Illuminati triangle is faced at the top. Ours is reverse, where R stands for the many over the few. The reverse way is the few over the many, and there's a lot of things that went into the logo, our structure, and things like this. But if I can start with the reason why I created the club was it was just time for something different. That's basically it. I just got tired of the same repeating lifestyle that we all live. We wake up, we go to work, pay our bills. A lot of the vendors or businesses, they're looking for customers and things like this, to make a living and things like this. And I realized if we collectively and equally agreed to pull together for what we want, it's like, what better way to benefit as a community,
Yeah, I agree 100%. Now you were kind of talking to me about the triangle, right? Or you weren't talking to me about the triangle, but you just mentioned the triangle right there. And you were talking to me about how you have a structure that is sort of built
the government.
Similar to the government, right? Which is 3 tiers, which kind of goes hand in hand with those 3 sides of that triangle.
Yeah, so I'll get on to the governing boards that we call tables. And the reason why I mimic the government is just because I don't like the government. And there's tons of people that don't like the government either. They know that the government can't be trusted. They know that the government lies to them, but yet it's like, well, what can we do? It's like, there's various groups and things like that do form up, but like, what are they really doing? It's like, they're not really doing anything to give power back to individuals, and stuff like that. It's, well, this is what we're doing for this cause. There's a lot to our club once we're officially at our maximum member limit, but I'm getting off topic. I'm gonna go back to the governing tables. So
we're stoners, man. It's all good. That's what I'm saying. We end up rambling a lot. Yeah.
The governing tables came about because I had to structure it to mimic the government.
Yep.
The round table, I came up with that because I'm a movie buff, things like this, and the round table was from King Arthur's and the 12 Knights. All right.
Yep.
So I was like, all right, what better governing thing to call it the round table based on that. So then the next one, it was like, if the round table is the executive board, I now needed one to be the judicial board and the legislative board, so it was like, all right, because I like fucking Keanu Reeves, and once John Wick came out, it was like I was hooked on John Wick. So the high table on John Wick became our high table, where it was like, what? So then the glass table that came from Alice in Wonderland through the looking glass. And yeah, it was like, when I get high, I just fucking start thinking of shit. And it's like, what? I want to build a unique club, that's different from the rest, that structure is, so the round table, what they're in charge of, there's 12 people, they're charges of just the day-to-day operations of the club. All right. That's basically it. You got like the chairman, president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, event officer, club security officer. You got membership managers, and what membership managers do is they help with, managing, and help us organizing our memberships and things like this. The
bringing
high
people
table,
in,
bringing people in. So the high table, what we're doing right now is, this is a grassroots organization, and it started with 10 people in Geneva. All right, I asked 10 people. See, now I'm just getting off course because
you're good. You're good. Run with it. Run with it.
Yeah, just keep going. We're intrigued.
What is it? Our come out was just insane. So in 2019, September, I decided to create this club after months of research and things, stuff like this, creating logos, creating a structure. created a contest where I gave people $50 to $100 each week back in 2019 in September to add the most people. So each week people were adding hundreds of people just to get that $50 to $100. All right. Fast forward to 2020, I spoke to a cannabis law firm. Can't remember the name right now off the top of my head, but it was like Jason Kilmer. You know, I
Jason Klimek.
Yep, I posted that on our club group that in 2020, March of 2020, I spoke to him. He was willing to represent us, things like this. He gave me his price. All right. I then, after we amassed within under 4 months, we amassed 9,000. I think it was like 400 or 9,600 people. All right, into our group. Because of the whole, if you recruit this many people, you get paid. I then presented them, this is what we needed from 420 out of the 9,000 people. All right, we said that we needed $10 to help us start an equal organization. All right, and it took months went by, and just people didn't bite, you know, and it was at that moment I tried to explain that there will always be two types of people that exist in this life. There will always be two sides, and there will always be two choices. And our club is based on these founding beliefs called the Trinity laws of nature. But once the 9,000 people were made aware, and I was telling people in the group, question everything. I said, if you're not comfortable with something, question it, you know, but just don't sit here in this group. And, you know, we have plans and we have goals. So I decided to purge everybody by, I think it was December of 2020. We had this purge, and we purged thousands of people that did not pull the $10. And the reason why we did that is it was, in this life, you have two choices, because I talk about two types, two sides, two choices, positive and negative. You have two choices. I presented people with information about this club, the structure. We had this lawyer who I spoke to who he agreed. He showed email confirmation of wanting to represent us. All right. All we needed was $10 from 420 people out of the 9,000. All right. The choice, you had two choices, to give us the 10 or not to. What was positive and what was negative? Because choices are only positive, negative. If you help people, and like, that's the thing too, is like, too many people are afraid to help. You know, it's like, because if I help, what is I'm really helping to achieve? You know, it's like, well, we laid out something that would be so equal, so, and at the thing too is, I'm not gonna be the one that's running it. I'm just forming the foundation of it. You know, right. And it was just we purged 9,000 and some people. The 100 and some people that gave us the 10, they helped pay for the LLC. They helped pay for the website, things like this. They helped with a lot of things. You know, so those became the founding members that initially pooled the $10 that we're pooling together for member-owned land to help us build our organization. You know, so it began like that. After the 9,000 was purged, people hated us. They're like they're this, they're fucking blah, blah, blah. You know, when it's like I said, two types of people will exist, positive and negative people. You know, and as long as you stay positive, there's like positive things will continue to happen. But as long as, like, so say you're positive, and then all of a sudden you're around negative people, and these negative people get to influence you. It's like all of a sudden now positive things ain't gonna happen because you're allowing negative people to influence your choices and decisions and things like this. So when I remove, when I talk about we remove people who, you know, just don't listen or just can't clearly understand what we're trying to do, is like in our operating agreements, in our bylaws, you know, we talk about we're looking for positive people, not negative. You know, we're looking for, like, I'm gonna go back to the two types. There's those that give more, and then there's those that take more. You know,
Right.
it's like there's no third. You either give more or you take more. You know, those are two types of people. And it's like we're looking for those that give more than they take. It's like, why would any organization want people that take more in their organization? They wouldn't, you know?
Right.
But
No, I feel like we were meant to talk to each other tonight.
yeah, but
I'm about that though. I'm about removing the negativity from your life, and I think everybody should be about that. That's a huge message that if you didn't pull from that right there, you really need to, because you are the company you keep, right? And if you keep negative around you, you're gonna turn into a negative individual. So like, if your circumstances ain't right, fix them, right? That it always takes me back to that Dirty Head song, right? Vacation. I'm on vacation every single day because I love my occupation.
Yep.
If you don't like your life, you should go and change it, right? That shit is fucking inspirational to me. I don't care how corny it is. Like, whenever I hear that, I'm like, man, something ain't right. I gotta fucking knock that shit out of my life right now. Like,
definitely.
Anyway, we did get a little bit off track there, but like I said, that message is great. Getting back to New York State Cannabis Club, you're talking about the goals and the plans and the vision. What is that vision? What are your goals?
So right now, our long-term goal is to be able to grow cannabis for our members. You know, and it's just for our members, not the public, things like that. You know,
they do have a collective license.
So you
just want to interject.
I was gonna say, so you technically want to be their caretakers.
Goals. You said us be our members' caretakers?
Yeah.
No, so let's say you're a founding member and things like this. We would vote on an already established licensed grower to grow for us and our members. You know, that type of thing. You know? Our short-term goal is, like right now we're on phase 1. What phase 1 is we're looking for under 0.05% of New York State population. And when I try to tell people, it's like, New York has 20 million people plus, all right? And out of those 20 million people plus, we're looking for 0.05, not 1%, not 2%, 0.05 to help us achieve our goal. And out of the two types of people that exist, we know we're going to achieve it. You know, it's just going through the process of things, you know.
What's that, 100,000? You got me over here trying to do mental math.
It's only 10,000.
He's like, I'm too stoned for this.
It's only 10,000. That's it. 10,000 out of 20 million people. Yeah. And so that's what we're doing now is we're in phase 1 where we're recruiting the people needed to reach 10,000.
So what's involved in being a member then? How do you become a member?
So
how do you vet the people you're bringing on board?
All right, so
sorry, I'm running down a rabbit hole.
No, you're good. So what we do is there's a process on the website where you fill out a membership agreement and things like this. Our membership agreement and the things on there is sort of extensive too, of, you know, what we allow, what we don't, things like that, you know. And then how you say vet it. So let's say somebody say, well, I want to join the club and things like that. And in our operating agreement and club guidelines and stuff like that, it says, you know, certain things that we had to remove a few people because it didn't go with club guidelines and things like that. You know, where there was pedophiles, we had to remove them, you know, and there's certain things that like we don't allow, you know, we don't allow certain people. What's crazy is when we formed this too, a lot of people that's doing a lot of other things, like, so Justin Odell, he's been with us since damn near we started, you know, and a lot of other people and stuff. And it's nice seeing them doing their own thing and venturing. And where I was going with this? Oh, I got lost.
Vetting people. We're talking about
vetting people. So there's a process of how we vet people and things like this. There's people that try to join. If we don't get enough information from them and things like this, we're diverse. I'll say that. There was somebody who say, well, I know this person, he is this. How is he allowed to join? It's like, because we don't judge people on who they are in their personal lives. We judge people on who they are when they join our club. You know, there are certain things that you like. It's sort of we don't care about your religion and things like this, who you represent politically and things like that. But in our club, we don't endorse or promote any of that stuff. You know, and yeah, just recently there's a person that left. He paid $10 to be a founding member. He left because of consumption on growth site, you know, things and stuff like that, you know. Yeah. But in the end, we still have his $10 towards our collective pool, so it really doesn't matter if he leaves. I try to tell people, in this life, people will come and people will go. You know,
that's a fact.
All you got to do is focus on the people that stay. That's it.
Yeah, those are the ones you want to keep around anyway. So I'm like, you want to walk out of my life? Good. I guess I didn't need you here anyway.
So after people fill out the membership agreement, they have a choice to read over the operating agreements and bylaws and things like that. Once you give us the 10, sign that membership agreement. If there's things that you didn't read over and we check, you know, you're removed, things like that. What I like is the process with the high table. So right now, until the high table is formed, I'm able to, and the round table removes people from the club. Once the 420 high table is formed, they vote on who to remove via majority vote. So let's say the high table caught wind, like let's say 3 people in the high table caught wind of a guy, you know, and they felt like his character and things like that wasn't suited, and they brought enough, you know, evidence, you know, to the high table that, yeah, we should vote to remove him. If majority says he should be removed, he's removed, you know? Yeah. And that's what I like about it, is like, people are like, yo, that's stupid. It's like, no, that's a democracy, you know?
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair, 100%. You got your majority vote. I mean, how many people are in the 420 high? Is it just 420 high table, or is it 420 people?
There's just 420 people.
That's table. A lot of people, though.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. No, not currently in that table. The maximum amount is 420. We have a separate group. Right now, there's only 311. 4 more have to be added, but total 315 in that group.
So you're still a couple members short. That means there's opportunity for the right individuals.
Yeah. So then when the high table's formed and stuff like this, what's another good thing is our operating agreements, you know, what we call bylaws. Each year on 420, the 420 founding members get to amend certain things in the operating agreement that helps, you know, further the club's fucking vision, growth, things like that. Because when I initially created the operating agreement, things like that, it was with the 10 people, and it was already agreed upon that when the table was formed, the table would then take over. You know, it's like they're not called the high table for nothing, you know?
Right.
And I like the whole setup where you got 420 people that people then say, okay, so how do you get your 10,000 people? It's like, so once we hit our 420 founding members, if each founding member just recruited or found a friend or family, just 25 each, like each founding member only has to add 25 people, we reach our 10,000 goal. All right. We were planning on, when we hit the 420, to help people get motivated, is offer, you know, large amounts of bud or cash, you know, for, you know, the person who gets this many founding members, you know, this many people, you know. So you're a founding member and all you're required to do is add 25 people, you know, there should be a reward system to get people, you know, just because we need people to add. That's how we get to our goal.
So how do you plan on going about getting that reward system, getting that going?
So right now, that's the reward system and things. I haven't even thought about. I'm still focused on adding the 420 founding members.
Fair
You
enough.
know, and things like that. Once I get to the close to 420 founding members, I'm pretty sure I'll figure out some type of like reward system to help everyone get motivated to just add 25 people. You know, and
Yeah.
like right
You-
now, go ahead.
I don't want to get you off your train of
No,
thought.
you're good.
So you got me over here curious as fuck, and if I'm curious as fuck, I'm sure some other people are.
Yeah.
Can you just give me you don't need to run through the whole fucking thing, but throw me a few of the things that are in like the bylaws or the operating agreement. Just throw a couple things out there that are written in there.
All right, I'm gonna even go to the website just to get specific.
Cool.
Perfect.
All right.
I mean, I guess I could have did the same thing. Now
Yeah,
I
no,
kind of
you're
feel like
good.
an a-hole.
No, you're good.
Yeah, so, and then also while we're thinking about that, the long-term goal is to be able to grow. What's something that's more short-term? What's going to be the motive of the club? Like, once you have it established, what are you guys working forward towards to achieve? What are people signing up to do?
So that's all right. So the whole thing is we needed to buy land. Our original goal is to buy land, build a headquarters, all right, and it was like a large private members lounge, you know, and a lot of people got into the consumption lounge and things like that, and you know, it's different when you own your own property and your land, and you have people over to smoke on your land and things like that. It's different, blah blah blah. But we want to have our own private members cannabis lounge, you know, facility. You know, and in that facility, we wanted, you know, indoor you know, like a huge facility, you know.
Okay, yeah, man.
And how I figured we do that is, you know, with the whole 10,000 people, phase one, they gave $10, all right? And we do things in quarters. Like people say, well, what is my member dues and things like that? I said, don't look at it as dues. We look at it as member donations, and they're quarterly, but our quarters are phases. Right now, we're in phase one. Phase one, we're looking for 10,000 people to give us $10. Once phase one is complete, we then move on to phase two. All right. Once phase one is complete, the 420 founding members vote on the location of this large chunk of land that we purchased. All right. I'm pretty sure it would be based on, you know, the total number of population that we have in a given area where the land should be purchased, stuff like that. But once the money is raised, the 420 vote on the location. Once we have a location, that location will be used for our members, you know, different events, different doing things and stuff like that, but it's member owned and stuff like that. All of a sudden, then we go into phase two. Phase two is the construction phase of the cannabis lounge. And we then ask people, the same people who became signed members that gave $10, we ask for phase two, $10. Now, if the person doesn't give $10, they lose their membership and / ownership in the club towards everything that we pool collectively for, you know? And
Yeah, but let's talk about $10 though. Like
it's nothing. I know.
I mean, just to call it what it is, the way you're talking about it sounds like it sounds harsh, right? But at the end of the day, it's $10. Like
Yeah.
you could be harsh about $10. It's not
Yeah.
that crazy. And
Yeah.
and the way you're talking about it also sounds like you got to wait until you get to 10,000 people. So this isn't like a We want you to
Yeah,
hit us with
we don't want
$10
you.
a month. It's
No,
like
no.
$10, and then
Yep.
probably like 8 months to a year later, we're gonna ask you for another $10.
And yeah, that's what I try to tell people is we're doing things in phases because I look at how would I want to join something and how would I want this to be. So it's like, okay, if somebody came up to me and say, well, all I need is $10, and the next time I'll ask you for $10 is when we acquire 10,000 members. It's like, all right, I'll wait on that. Here's your $10. What can I lose? Just $10. And then like all of the people that I get to become founding members, I'm hoping that other people are like, well, wow, this person's a founding member and things like this, and like certain people, they didn't get the full information or the full gist, but they just got just enough to give me the $10 though. And
Right.
it's like there's always two types of people. There's those that will, and then there's those that don't. All right.
I mean, you got me wanting to sign up. I'll be real. I gotta read your bylaws and shit.
Yeah.
But
So
I'm just that kind of guy.
Yeah, and then it's like I said, with the bylaws, it's like when it was originally created, it was created how I felt it should be. Once the 420 board is formed, it's going to be amended how they feel it should be. And that should be fair because these 420 people are this high table that is structured to.
That's the incentive you're giving to them,
So
right?
the thing too
You're
is,
giving
yes,
them investment into the business, if you will.
yeah. So and the thing too is with the when the 420 high table is formed, uh, the club's capital account that we raised, that we pooled money in and things like that, no money can be spent or whatchamacallit without the high table approval. And all club spending has to be by majority vote of the high table approval.
That makes sense.
At the end of each month, the high table gives a monthly financial bank statement of the club's capital account, letting them aware, making them aware of certain transactions, things like that. But at the end of the day, how I created this, I tried to create it in a way that I felt would be fair. And when I told people that once this is formed and properly established, I don't want to do what I'm doing. It's like, who I am? I'm just a roofer. That's who I am. I'm a roofer. I've been roofer for 20-some years.
Oh yeah.
But I just have thoughts of.
You guys are a different fucking breed, man.
Yeah.
I had to do some roofing for sunrooms, and like those were all like a 3.
It's no joke. I did it one summer.
3
Oof.
to 4 pitch, right? 3 to
Yes.
4 pitch. I do that all day. I seen some of these roofs. You guys got to run up and down. No, thank you. You won't catch me dead on that. Nope.
Yeah, and then so when not to track back, but when I spoke to their boiling code on Culver Road.
Yeah.
Whatchamacallit, but when I spoke to him,
He's actually not with them anymore.
yeah, I realized that. But when I spoke to him, he gave me a lot of information and insight, things like that, and I try to tell people you either are, a fast learner and you try to learn things that you don't know, or you just don't, take the time out to learn new things. But from him, other like I was in different Facebook LOC, things like this. Who we use now, we use Northwest registered agent. All right. And what I told people too is like, so those are the people who we use to help with the formation of the LOC, get us started, any questions, things like that. I said when the 420 founding members is formed, they even vote on which agent we should use to further represent us, because this agent is located in fucking California. Like, I was all about New York everything. It's like I wanted to go with a New York agent. Any business things we did, it was New York. It's like there's this dude, he does good work. He's out of Minnesota. It's like, fuck that. Let's make New York. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yo, so I love it. I really think I'm seriously gonna look into this because
Yeah.
like I like the idea, the structure of it sounds fantastic to me. Did you end up pulling up those bylaws? Can you give me a couple
Yeah,
of
here
them?
we go.
Yeah.
All right. So, Article 2, like, I'll go through down for a little few, but Article 1 is the name. The name of the organization should be the New York State Cannabis Club. The purpose. The New York State Cannabis Club is strategically organized exclusively for member benefit, social, leisure, educational, recreational, and scientific purposes. The buying, purchasing, owning of club land and or property in order to establish member-only club facilities that include various member-only amenities. And then it goes into like section 1. The primary purpose, mission of the New York State Cannabis Club is to collectively pool towards a united purpose. Section A, to achieve our goals, we need, a minimum of 10,000 New Yorkers on board, just equally pooling $10 together every phase. And it says no more than 4 phases in the calendar year. Each individual member helps by donating $10 towards our collective goal and is awarded 1 share maximum of club ownership. I'm gonna pause real quick there and talk about the shares of ownership and stuff like that. So anybody that understands LLCs and things like that, you're able to have a certain amount of, percentages given, blah, blah. We do ours in shares. There's 10,000 shares of ownership that make up our LLC. Out of the 10,000 people that we need, each one gets 1%, like just 1 share. I ain't gonna say 1%, but 1 share of ownership.
Yeah, it's like 0.01%.
Yeah, that share isn't to be, traded, sold. That's just, our organization, thing. People say, well, what about tax reasons and things like this? No member or owner makes anything from the club. Everything we do is we pool together for what we need. It's like we're not pooling together to create this business where this member makes money and things like this. We're just pooling together to buy land. We're pooling together. It's sort of in the past, we used to show people about, like read IRS, social club laws and things like that. It's like, it's different from being, a public organization than a private organization or a private club and things like that. There's a lot of, so, all right, I left off there, but let's see, it says everyone becomes an equal owner as long as he or she continues to donate towards each pool phase. All right, so phase 1, everybody pooled $10 together. They acquire 1 share. They're a member owner. And phase 2 comes. You didn't pay your $10. You are now, and there's an allotted days where, you have to pay your $10 and stuff like that. And it's, like I said, we're not asking you to pay ahead. We just want you to pay when the phase is complete, just to try to make people more aware. It's like if you're invested in this, once we reach our phase, and yeah, we post it and stuff like this, you should be like, all right, I'm ready to pay my next 10. But let's say you don't pay your 10. I think it's 90 days, that could change, but I think it's 90 days to pay your $10. All right, and if you haven't paid your $10 in 90 days, you're removed from membership. Once you're removed from membership, somebody else is able to pay the $10, and now that person comes in after you. He also now owns the land that you paid initially, and now he's in it for the next phase. And it's like people are like, why would you do it this way? Just because if, let's say by phase 4, we are in the construction phase of this lounge, and inside amenities will be voted on by the high table. It's like, so if we wanted this inside, they'll vote, should be inside, that's what should be inside, blah, 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 blah. But all of a sudden we get to the last phase and we have this facility. The person who didn't continue to pay, and now we're at this end of the phase, they're gonna be kicking themselves, and it's like, all we're asking for is $10. We're willing to be as transparent as possible to get things moving and things like that, so yeah.
Oh yeah, I love it.
All right, so I'm almost let's see, go to a different one.
Yeah, what's something that would get somebody removed?
All right.
Also, just to fill the gap here, I want to make it a point that We miss you, John and Yuli. We wish that you could be here tonight. We're sorry you're not feeling good. You know what I mean?
Feel better.
They're gonna be back on the next episode, but go ahead, Logan.
No, I was just gonna say, hopefully they feel better.
Sooner than later.
Yeah.
It's friggin' it is virus season, people. Not just the COVID. The flu came back, you know, because it wasn't here last year.
I was gonna say, Christmas season doesn't just bring the joy; it brings everything else with it.
Respiratory infections, all that. I literally just got over it like 4 hours ago and decided that I wanted to make sure I still do this. Yeah, go ahead.
One thing that I found, it says any founding member or CannaFam member that openly disrespects another club member will be sent to the high table board for processing. In the event a member isn't removed after the high table votes on it, that member is muted and ghosted from all club activities for X amount of days. Let's see.
Can they get can they come back into the club after X amount of days? Is that what that's saying?
So let me see. Yeah, it says in the event a member isn't removed, that member is muted from group chat, text, things like that, and they're ghosted from all club activities for like events, social meetups for 90 days, you know? And
Okay.
let's say that person says, well, you know what, fuck listening to this 90-day, I'm gonna go to this event, you know? It's like, well, now you definitely ain't coming back, and it's like, why would you wanna bring that negative vibe, you know?
Right.
Somewhere where you're just not allowed at the time, you know? But yeah, and then it goes back to, let me continue a little. A lot of the things that new founding members join that are, because we all learn from each other, you know?
Right.
I didn't get to where I was just fucking knowing things. I got to where I was by other people knowing a little more than me, you know, and me knowing a little more than other people, and everybody working together to, you know more things.
Yeah.
But what I was saying is, when certain founding members join and we form the 420, and I'm hoping to form it before 420, April 420, when we amend the bylaws, just because if we can form the 420 before that, we can amend certain things and add things, you know, before that process, you know, as a complete table, you know.
Right.
And it's like I said, like, so let's say with removing people, the only thing I see right now is openly disrespect. There's fraternization policies that they don't go into, can you date a member? It's like, yeah, we don't care who you date, things like that. But if your personal affairs interfere with what we're doing, you know, it's like it's sent to the high table, you know,
Yeah,
and then the high table votes on that and stuff like that. It's like, so a lot of the things where it's like, we're trying to be accountable to each other in order to create something that's so unique, you know. But in order to do that, you know, people have to understand that there's going to be two types of people. Within us, there's two sides. There's a positive side and a negative side in us. It's like, we got to stop feeding our negative side, and, you know, like, I'm getting off topic.
Oh, you're good.
But it's we're trying to find positive people that is willing to grow together. That's basically it, you know. And I tell people, when I was younger, 18, things like that. Okay, so I was in foster care when I was 14. Never met my dad. Grew up in the projects. Like, people think because of the way I speak, you know, it's like, well, this dude's, you know, like, I'm educated because I chose. You know, it's like, you make choices, positive and negative choices. You know, and when I was young, you know, it's like, my mind wasn't that evolved and that aware of the nature of things, you know, where I made more negative choices, more negative decisions and things like that when I was growing up. you know, eventually there came a point where like I understood, you know, and that's another reason behind me creating this. It's like I want to see what happens if I create organizations that's built on being positive, respect. So that's why I repeat myself a lot too, where we're looking to collectively and respectfully, you know, and I use respectfully a lot because if, one second, I got to go back to the top of something to show you.
Hold on, though. You
Go ahead.
said that you're not really good at like public speaking, but all the things you're saying are exactly the way that you're supposed to approach public speaking. So
It's
I'm just
social.
saying.
Like how we are right now, we're talking just, you know, 3 people. You know,
Yeah.
imagine being on a stage or something like, nah, I couldn't do that.
You are right now, my man. You
Yeah,
are
I
right
know.
now.
110%.
All right, let me all right. So the main thing when you read our handbook, and our handbook has the bylaws and different things in it, I must have wrote stuff, reread stuff, wrote it again, reread, until I was like, this is it. This is how it should sound. But it was like, number one, there is strength in numbers only when organized strategically and purposefully, while respecting and understanding our own individual differences, strengths, and common interests. When I wrote that, it was like, I need people to understand that, like, there's strength in numbers. So I ain't gonna try to get off tangent and things like that. So there's a lot of organizations that they, you know, publicly raise money for causes and stuff like that. And I try to tell people like that's all good, you know, like you helped, you know, you spent money purchasing their things that help that cause. It's like, isn't it time you decided to spend money for something that you own, that you're able to? And it's like we spend enough money. You know, it's like I'm not knocking people, vendors, things like this. Like there was a post I created when I said the gloves are off. Like the only thing that I was stating is if people understand, like it's sort of a pattern lifestyle that we live, where we're more consumers than we are owners. You know, and it's like, well, how can we own things? Like it's hard to own things individually because a lot of us don't have money to own things. You know, not all of us is well off. You know,
Right.
so I created something
But
where
$10 is
yeah,
something
the
that's
$10.
manageable. It's
Yeah.
manageable for anybody. If you
Yeah.
can't afford $10, you're
Yep.
just lying to yourself because
Yep. And
this
you're
man's
not-
talking at most $40 a year.
Yes, and you know, people, this is the cannabis club. People smoke weed. $10, come on.
$40, that's an eighth. That's an eighth. If you just cut yourself 1/8,
Yeah.
1/8 out of your schedule, you'd be able to stay in the club scot-free. And
Oh,
don't
and
blast other people. You shouldn't be blasting people that are part of your club anyway.
Yeah. So then, out of my own pocket, you know, I pay for things. Uh, Initially, I paid out of my pocket to do the weekly contest. Um, After that, I would do contests out of my pocket, just for shits and giggles. You know, there was this
Yeah.
one chick named Dawn Peters. She must have won probably 200, 250 from me. Another person won 50 here, here, here. And he was like, well, why is this dude fucking just giving people money on stupid contests, things like that? It's like, to me, is there's things that I spent my money on that I was wasting. This is to me an investment, you know, and I use the word reallocated funds. I learned that from that Susie Orman fucking financial fucking chick, but I reallocated funds where I'm able to do these contests and things like that, you know. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a great point that we also need to put into consideration here at some point into allocating our funds, because we've sort of reached a barrier, you know, on YouTube and whatnot, even Facebook, Instagram, all that. There's a shadow ban for anything cannabis, and like you can only get so much exposure without finding unique avenues. So we're gonna have to start branching out as well.
We got
which
it.
is a great segue. Actually, we are run a pretty long episode. Please hang out. Please hang out because I would love to keep talking to you for a little bit. We like to do a short after show also where it's kind of a little less formal. But we are going to come to the end. Like I said, things are crazy and we need to be able to market a little bit more. So if you want to check out our Patreon, please do. That is going to be www.patreon.com/UrbaQuest. Also, check out the New York State Cannabis Club on Facebook. Look at their website. Is that the New York State Cannabis Club.com?
It's the NYSCC.com. Legal reasons.
Yeah. I get you. Yeah, you get into the .govs and all that. So the NYSCC.com.
If you guys want to see the after show, go ahead and check the Patreon. Go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, all the above.
Also check out the new and improved Discord that's going to be sponsored by Resin Gaming. We'll have a link in the show notes. It is dope. If you like to game at all, you definitely want to check it out. My man runs Rochester Gaming Network. He turned into Resin Gaming for the cannabis community. We're kind of doing a mashup thing, and we'll have some events coming in the future. Also, Ra, is there anything else that you would like to plug before we jump off?
No, just like I said, we all have two choices to make. It's like I'm telling people now, don't wait. It's like spots will fill up.
Yes,
then
sir.
You will have to wait.
Yes, sir. And then you won't be part of that high table either.
Nope,
You're just part of the fam. Yup. So jump on quick. It's only 100 spots left. You know that's going to go by the end of this show. So jump in there right now. And with that,
Stay lit, stay informed.
haha.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the UrbaQuest podcast. Be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications, as well as follow the links below so you can stay lit and stay informed.
And with that,
stay lit, stay informed.
peace.
Peace out.